Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther. I create a little bit of beauty, lifestyle, and, share my life in the process of being creative in the creative journey. A while ago, I hosted my first ever creative gathering, May 23rd. It was so much fun. I wanted to share how this all transpired and what I learned from doing something scared and the outcome of doing something without fully knowing what you're doing, but doing it anyways and showing up anyways and reaping the rewards of that, but also community building and the power of community. So about a year ago, if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my laptops. I wrote some notes so I stay on task and I stay on the topic because I do like to ramble. But about a year ago, I had this idea after seeing so many people start their own running clubs, seeing so many people creating real life community spaces, which is so amazing. And it really inspired me to think about how I can contribute to community building, but in my own way. So I started thinking, I started idolizing, and that is how A Love Letter to My Black Girls was created. I felt like there wasn't a lot of spaces for Black women to simply experience joy and creatively express themselves and have environments that were soft and intentionally built for them. And that's what I wanted to create, an environment that felt warm, welcoming, colorful, but true to me. So let's move into chapter 2, which was creating the vision. When it came to mood boarding and the overall concept of A Love Letter to My Black Girls, I knew early on I wanted the space to reflect my personal style and I wanted to feel creative. So when looking for the venue space, I knew that was really important to me because I feel like the venue space is the foundation to a creative event. And when you're creating an idea, you want to really hone in on your mood board and the colors, the feeling. For me, I'm a feeling-based person, so everything I do is based in my feelings. And so when I walk into a space, how am I feeling? The colors in a room really do tell a story and really embody a feeling. Colors are so powerful. Like once you understand color theory and you understand how a color can move you and can tell a story, it's just so intentional. Like every little thing was intentional. Choosing a venue was really hard because I did have a budget for the venue, but I did splurge a little bit just because I felt like the venue space that I chose was perfect. It spoke to me. The colors were very warm. The space was very vibrant. And like when the sun hit the space, it was beautiful. Like it was so beautiful. And at first I was kind of scared because the space was very small, but because the amount of people that I chose, which was 10, it was perfect. It was perfect for my first event. I wanted it to feel intimate. It is very niche. It's niche to Black women. It's niche to Black creatives. So I did splurge a little bit when it came to my venue space. I will say, since it was my first time creating an event, I did spend a lot of time researching. And when I was researching, it was very discouraging because a lot of people were like, well, you need XYZ, you need $2,000, you need da 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 da. Which is true. You do need money to host an event. But that's not always the case. Like when you look at Runners Club and like clubs like that, it's free. You're just running. You're just finding a public space and you're running. So I didn't let that limit me and I didn't let that discourage me, but it is something that I kept in mind. And because what I was offering, I had to put a ticket price, like I'm offering so much and I felt like what you left with is way more than what you paid for. For events like such as what I put together, you're not necessarily paying to meet me. You're paying for the experience that I'm curating, which I really wanted to be intentional about that. So just think about that. If you ever think about, hosting an event or just putting an idea together, what are your intentions behind what you're doing? For me, towards the end of the year, I got a small pay raise, just a little something. Every dollar counts, okay? And then I was able to secure 2 brand deals that were worth over $3,000, which is so last year, towards the end of the year, I don't know what happened, but I was getting really, really lucky. Brands were coming to me left and right. And I'm super grateful for the community that I built online to have those kind of opportunities come in. And so I set a lot of that money aside because I knew, okay, this is something that I can really do with all the funds that are coming in. And I'm like, okay, this is the perfect time. At first I was feeling like, okay, this is not something that I can do. And I don't know if this is possible to, wow, this is really possible. And then it was time to action. Mind you, this was all being planned at the beginning of last year, like January of 2025. But towards 2026 is when I was like, okay, I can really do this. So January was like locking in. I also secured a social media agency. So I was signed and I started working with my management team that I'm with. And that was really good because they were able to give me more resources, reach out to brands on my half. And plus, they were more willing to, reply to someone like that versus little old me. I'm really just a fish in the sea, but when it comes to an agency, they can literally be, they can be more like pushy, like they can really, really demand for things. And so she was able to advocate for me and ask for PR and stuff like that. I feel like after January, I knew it was go mode. It was time to really put what I was saying into action. At this point, I had told nobody but my girlfriend that this is something that I want to do. So it was time to like, okay, how can I use what I have, really execute this idea to its fullest potential and what it can become. Sometimes just use the resources that you do have in front of you before you get to the point where you can outsource and da-da-da. Because I really wanted to work with a Black cafe. I wanted to hire a Black, I wanted everything to be Black because it was called a love letter to my Black girl. So I really wanted to work with more like Black businesses. But because this was my first event, I didn't really have anything to go off of. So there was no really credibility to be like, okay, why should we trust this girl? Why should we partner with this girl? And so after getting rejection after rejection after rejection, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to ask my friends and I'm going to see if my friends can help me. So the beginning of this vlog, I'm pretty sure it was the beginning of this vlog or the second episode of the Creative Diaries, I was at my friend's cafe and I proposed the idea of like, hey, my friend's boyfriend was a barista and I'm like, hey, I know this is kind of crazy, but I have an event and I was wondering if you could be the barista at the event. And they were like, I'm kind of down. And so my friend Yara is very creative. Shout out to Yara because she really ate that. We're going to get into the concept, but getting a little bit ahead of myself. But I think for me growing up as the eldest daughter, I had a hard time asking for help. And so this event really allowed me to ask for help, ask for resources. Even if people say no, at least I asked. And I can be like, okay, at least I asked. I put myself out there and I was vulnerable enough to ask for that help, Doing it scared really helped me through this process because this allowed me to show up even when I wasn't really certain in how everything was going to turn out. It's kind of like baking. Like you have to get your ingredients and then once you get the ingredients, then you start to really see everything form. It was just getting the materials. It was getting the cute little pens. And it's like, okay, finally seeing everything coming together. I'm like, wow, okay, this can really be something. And when I finally secured the venue space, that's when I was like, okay, this is really real. Cause I just put this money down. Yeah, I can't back out now. I can't back out now. Money is on the line. My money is on the line. So yeah, because I did fund this all by myself, which I'm really proud of myself. Wow. And so I think what helped me keep going in those fears of like doubt and kind of like, I don't really know what I'm doing is knowing my why and truly believing in my why. And I just want to foster a creative community in Chicago, but specifically for Black women because I am a Black woman and I love Black women. So, and I feel like Black women, we don't have a lot of spaces where we can be soft, we can experience other Black women, experience joy, and just be creative and have fun. So that's what this space is for. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you meet new friends. I hope you are able to tap into that creativity. Yes. That's what I forgot is my own journals to show you guys. But I had my own journal as well. I love journaling. I feel like journaling is such a great way to be grounded, connect with yourself, just like tap into your creative ideas, whatever you feel like. Sometimes I just scribble in my journal. Whatever you feel like you want to do, your journal is your safe space. Because I believe whenever you're doing something new or scary, having that strong sense of why really, really, really does matter. Why are you doing this? Why is it important to you? What impact do you have? What impact do you want people to leave with for this event, this idea, whatever you're doing? For me, my why was creating a space for Black women to feel joy, softness, creativity, and community all in one room. And even through those stressful moments, during those plannings, even with the hiccup with the ticket, knowing that, okay, regardless of how I feel, what I'm doing is bigger than me, is bigger than like these emotions that I'm temporary feeling. I feel like, yes, my feelings are valid in this moment, but they're temporary. I can get over it. But like, to have this space to hold for a couple of hours for people, that can leave such an impact on people. And so when I was at the event, I got told that. I was like, wow, this is such an amazing space. I really needed that. And it was so fulfilling for me. So let's talk about what I learned through this process. I think what really helped me during this process is just acknowledging that I am learning and acknowledging that I don't know everything during this process. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of times I like to think maybe I do know it all, but I really don't. I really don't. And this is my first event, and to give myself grace. Like, I'm learning. I made a lot of mistakes that I could be like, you know what? Next time, we're not going to do all that. Next time, I could just do that. A lot of things that I learned about myself and decisions that I made. Not to say that I regret any of the decisions, but I'm just saying, next time, you know, I could have made a different decision. But I think because I gave myself the room to grow and figure things out along the way, the experience was very, very rewarding. And I can't wait to do another one. Like, it was just so much fun. And now I've learned so many different skills, like reaching out to venue spaces, how to budget for an event, how to stay within a budget, how to navigate conflict with ticket sales, how to organize with people, and so many different skills that I didn't know before. How to socialize for 3 hours. Because I feel like that's a skill in itself, at least for me, because I'm an introverted. After that, I needed a moment to recover. But like, that was a lot for me. I was like, oh my God, that was a lot. Like, it was very fulfilling, and I learned so much about all the people that were in the room. There was someone who just moved to Chicago. What I also loved about everyone in that room is that I was able to really see that most of the people that I was talking to were a reflection of me in some type of way, which is super, super cool to see that people were resonating with the things that I'm putting out on the internet, And seeing that in real life is so much different than just seeing it through a screen and connecting with those people in real life, which was really, really cool. And I think that's what made the experience so fulfilling, which we can talk about in chapter 6, is the beauty of community.
So proud of you. Amazing.
Learned that this is something that I genuinely enjoy doing. Although I'm an introverted at heart, and I do need a couple of days to really like go back into my shell and just be by myself and then, socialize. I love the conversations that we were having. I don't know if this is something that I could do every single month, as again, I'm an introvert. I don't love the idea of socializing with people all the time. I feel like it's a bit draining, but I do love the connection. I'm leaning towards like more yearly or quarterly. I feel like that makes a bit more sense, but there's just something so beautiful about bringing people together and watching connection happen in real time. Like seeing the people be like, oh my gosh, we should connect. We should create a group chat. Seeing people really just laugh and kiki and like talk about their interests, and we were just dancing, enjoying the music. Like, it was just such a beautiful space. And for that to be my first event was just like, the expectation was up here. Like, I set the bar. I set the bar for myself, and I'm just like, wow. And not that I'm going to go into the next event thinking, how can I top the other event? Because I think every event is its own event. Everything is its own thing. This existed for a reason, and this is what this needed to be. I don't think everything needs to be a replica of the other events that I did, or better than the other event. It's just this event. Like, it can just be, like it can just exist. And this was just a beautiful moment, and allowing that moment to just be, I really, really love that. Like, it was such a beautiful space. Like, it was such a beautiful event. It was so fulfilling. I had so much fun. The biggest thing that this experience taught me is that sometimes ideas that scare you the most also are the ones that have the power to impact people the deepest, which is crazy because I was so scared to do this. I was thinking about all of the things that could go wrong. What if nobody shows up? What if nobody buys a ticket? What if nobody even cares about what I'm doing, what I have to say? But so many people, after I posted that I did that event, were like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be there. I hope you do another one, and all these other things. And I'm just like, okay, wow. So a lot of people are craving community. That's super nice to see. And I don't know, it was just like, I got that it was really refreshing to see this. Really, really nice to hear that. So let's do chapter 7, my final thoughts, and would I do this again? As you heard, I would definitely do this again. I really hope this video inspires you to go after your ideas. Once you truly believe in an idea and you realize that it is something that deserves to be in the world, I think you should definitely act on it. You know, whether that's building a business, a community, an app, a creative project, you know, whatever it is, I think it could be really powerful to commit to an idea and execute it and get it done and put it out into the world. Regardless of how it's received, you did it. You know, I feel like there's so much power in that, and it builds so much trust in yourself as a creative. I think it's really important to ask yourself during that process, why am I doing this? Why does this matter to me? Why does this deserve to exist in this world? And I feel like once you ask yourself those questions, it's easier to determine whether the idea is worth executing. If it really matters and it's going to have an impact or solve a solution in the world, I think it's worth pursuing. Or if it's something that you genuinely want to explore, like a hobby, and it's going to bring you joy, I think the simple fact that it's going to bring you joy is worth exploring, you know? Just holding yourself accountable, to bringing that idea to life. Once I posted that flyer, it had to be done. Like, I feel like once I put it out into the world, once I put it out onto social media, I'm like, a lot of people are watching me. I gotta get it done. It gotta be great. At least that's how I feel. That's how I move. But I feel like even telling my girlfriend and having her hold me accountable and be like, well, this is something you said you want to do, let's do it, you know? And so she was really helpful. And also my friends were really helpful in like supporting me, being there on that day, helping me with the food, helping me with my banner, helping me with the sign, helping me set up, guys. Like, I was just so appreciative of my friends and them showing up for me on something that was really, really important to me. There's just something so beautiful about seeing an idea go from something that only exists in your mind to something real, you know, that people can experience, people can connect with, people can feel inspired to like do things and be creative as well. So that was really, really inspiring for me. I hope this video inspires you to trust your ideas, trust yourself more, and when you get an idea, to really chase them fully and give yourself permission to create the things that keep calling you. That is all for now. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Creative Diaries. Bye!